Hello, my fellow car maulers. How are you doing today? We have got a really cool Luka's Unbuilds for you, and this is an interesting one that has kind of gone through many years of development in my head. There was a post on the Luka Cee Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group that caught my attention. And it was a post by Mark Gerling. And he says, I'd like to tackle this. Are there any current stock 70s, 80s Camaro kits out there? And of course, people were giving their suggestions and everything. And there's a couple of kits that are a good thing to start with. But it got me thinking, gee whiz, that is a car I have wanted to build for I think I started the project, I don't know. Do I dare to say 30 years ago? And I did not start with this model at all. I am a fan of these. I've done quite a few videos and I've got quite a few of these. But this is the MPC 78 Camaro. They did the 79, 80, 81s. They did for 4 years, did a lot of different versions of this very kit. And we're going to look at parts in this kit, but there's another kit to consider. And this is 25th scale. There's also this kit right here. There's been many versions of this, but this is now seems to be a kit that's really sought after and desirable and costs a lot of money, but for a long time, man, Monogram punched this kit out 1.5 times. We'll get back into that kit too. They're all important. And then there's one other kit that's involved. I don't have the box here, but I have all the parts here to build that particular Pro stock that we were showing that Mark was wanting to do. You need any variant of the Monogram 80s Pro stock Camaro, which I am going with the mean and nasty Pro Street, quote unquote Pro Street. Again, don't have the box, but you see the box right there. I have the parts. Before we go down this journey, there is talk that round 2 is coming back. I don't know which version, but they're coming back with their late 70s, early 80s Z28, which really to me is very exciting. I love this kit. I love this kit for a lot of reasons. It's 25th scale, which I prefer over the 24 scale Monogram one, but I do like that Monogram one. And I've gone over this before, but real quick, the thing that I like about theirs, your MPCs, is the spoilers and all the Z28 accoutrement comes separate. And we'll show you in this body right here. And you can see I got a chassis in it. We'll get to that. Except you got to get rid of this, but you don't have your flares. You don't have your rear spoiler. But with the Midnight Z, you have your flare here that's molded on. You have your rear spoiler that's molded on. Oh, and you have to deal with T-tops. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So, real quick, I'm going to get some stuff out here to show you. But yes, round 2 is talking about coming back out. I would imagine it's probably going to be their 81 variant. That was the last one that was tooled up. I'm sure that's what they're going to do. I really, anytime I get a chance, I love grabbing this 78 one. It's molded in white, and it has the desirable dashboard that I like, where Z28s and 79 went to that more square dashboard. But I have right here one of those Midnight Z's, okay, that I did a lot of work to. Because the way I figured, remember, I'm taking a 24th scale chassis in the Monogram Revell Pro Stock Camaros, and I am, it's all 24 scale. So I figured I'd start with the 24 scale body. But of course, as you can see, let's get this out of the way. Lots and lots of modifications have to be done. As you can see, the modifications that I've done to this. I literally had to do, you see this little front lower spoiler ground effect deal right there. I had to do a lot of molding and heating up and bending back and getting that into shape. And then, of course, a lot of cutting, and you can see I did this years ago, so the bodywork is already showing through. But when I ground this back spoiler off, if you look under here, you can see how it kind of dips in. A hole developed, and I had to fill that all in. I filled it up with some schmutz or whatever. Not too good of stuff because it's all cracking now. And then there's the stock wheel well, and let's get ourselves a proper Pro Stock tire that we would use. Here we go. This is out of that Mean and Nasty Pro Stock Pro Street. That's the monogram slick that was in all their drag cars, which is actually kind of too big for Pro Stocks and too small for funny cars and top fuels, but they use the slick on everything. As you can see, that wheel well, that just ain't gonna work. So what I would do is, whoosh, I was working on it, is I had right here, this body was a little graft right there. I cut this wheel well, this is how they do it on the real race cars. I cut this square patch panel out of the quarter panel, took out sections here and here, spread them across, and then I had this piece right here that I had to fill in, about that much, and that gave me a nice stretched wheel well. Haven't finished the body work in a long time. I haven't worked on it. This is actually a model that has been abandoned, but you can see how that slick fits in there real nice. That's for another day, another story, another video. This is the abandoned body. I might use this for something else, but you can see it needs to get some more work done. I took a little bit too much off of that bottom right there, but I'm trying to fill in, and some of it's cracked away. I filled in the gills there. I filled in, want to make this all look like a one-piece fiberglass front end. And again, there we go. Same body right there. I put the T-tops in, was blocking this out, getting it worked pretty good. It's a little jeefed right there. But we'd get it if I went that direction. But I was pretty pleased with what was going. But here's the thing. As I was building this, I'm thinking 24/24, right? So I had that in my mind. So I was carving this out to fit into this chassis into this body. And it was going good, and things were right. But then I discovered that wheelbase was off. I got a dirty, crusty, mean and nasty body, or Camaro Pro Stock. It's been sitting over here. It's dusty. Let's blow it off. Okay. This is going to get decaled. I was going down that road making a Grumpy's Toys. This is a very long time ago. Old Fred Katie decals. Wasn't happy with them. I got some good decals. I'm going to get back on this one day. But this is just to show you. Here is your 24 scale Pro Stock 3rd generation Camaro. Started out as, this one was probably a mean and nasty for all I know. I don't know. I had a lot of those mean and nasties. But before the mean and nasty, it was the Reher Morrison Camaro and the Frank Iaconio Camaro. And so let's show you something here. We'll take this, we'll do the old wheelbase shuffle, and you will notice how off the wheelbase is. The 2nd gen Camaro. These are both 24 scale. And then I realized from my Camaro days, 2nd gens and 3rd gens are a different wheelbase. The 2nd gen wheelbase on the real cars is 108 inches from center to center, where the 3rd generations are 101. So automatically this chassis is going to be too short for a 2nd gen 24 scale body, which made me go, yes, that's the direction to go. Let's get rid of this. And now we bring in, like a matter of months ago, I wanted to start working on that project I started so long ago. Here comes the 25th scale Z28 from MPC. And, well, here, check this out. Blammo. Dun, dun, dun. Remember, this is a much bigger wheelbase, or a wheel well, so we'll try to get that centered. And look at what we got. We got ourselves a much, much closer deal right there. And we probably can work things out by messing with this wheel well. If we want to stretch it a little bit to get, I don't even know if I'm going to go with that big of slicks. Here's some cool slicks I might go with. You want to get that to set right about there, which that wheel well is actually kind of, doesn't really need much stretching. That'll look pretty cool.
You're watching the Luka Cee channel on YouTube.
This is the same kit body that I used to do that other Luka's Unbuilds I just did about a week ago. Same thing. I love that Camaro. I love these Camaro kits, and I'm so excited to hear that they're bringing them back. Although I got so many of them, I don't need them, but it's cool for you guys. Let's really hope. Round 2, are you bringing this car back? This model kit? It'll be really cool. So easy to make into a base model Camaro. Anyway, so here I got my chassis that I was already working on, and I had already shaved off here and here when I was trying to get it to fit up into the 24 scale monogram 2nd gen Camaro, because it's a lot more curved around. You can see it with this one. There's a way more curve in than on the 3rd gen. They're a little more straight. So you had to make the floor a little skinnier. And then of course I had to do some test fitting and cutting. And I even did more when I started working it into this body, because I had it all set for that other body, but now I decided to move into this, so I had to do just some more grinding back here to get it up in there, and it fits really, really sweet now. Damn, now look at that. We get it all into place. A couple more little tweaks here and then we got to do. I had it fit in there. Something is stopping it. There we go. Got a little bit of work to do to get it up in there better, but we're getting there. You can kind of see where the front, there's the lower ball joint for the front. Need to just go a little bit farther back, but we can work that out. And there. I think we're going to do fine. Still in there a little cockeyed. Still got a little bit more grinding and cutting. There's a whole lot of test fitting, grinding, and cutting that you do. But you can see you can pretty much get this thing to work. I don't know if I'm going to go with these wheels and tires that come out of the old Pro Stock kits from Monogram, but it might work out. It's a big beefy tire. It probably would sit about like that. We'll get it up. Squeeze it into the wheel well. The wheel well's got to get opened up a little bit, but we've got plenty of room to mess around with this. We can get real low. We can get it not like that. They drove that car. So it looks like Mark is moving on with his, and he posted again today that he was having problems with finding the correct wheels that were in the picture that he's going by. So that's good to know. He's moving on with this project. I'd like to see it, Mark. Please post pictures of it. But I suggested to him, because I have lots of pictures of this car, as I've been studying it for quite a few years, is I suggested just go with the Monogram Pro Stock Camaro wheels, if you can get a hold of these. These were either Weld or Krager. I think these depict Krager super lights. I love those wheels. And there's the rear ones, the 8-hole. Just go with those. If you can't find those really cool Centerline or Super Tricks that they were running for a couple of races, they didn't always run the same wheels. So you just go ahead, and these are a lot more obtainable. They were in so many different drag car kits. This was from the Mean and Nasty, so everything was gold, which if you can ever get a hold of these, I love this. The gold Morosos, if you're going to do a big block, which oddly enough, I'm doing a small block. I'm doing their small block car. If you're doing the big block, man, that's the valve cover. They always had gold anodized Moroso valve covers, Reher Morrison back in that day. That'll depict the car really good. There you go. So that is kind of this thing I want to get back on. Oh, let me show you one more thing real quick. You go ahead, you contact Slicks Decals, and you can get a beautiful, beautiful set of Reher Morrison Camaro. I think right here, this upper one, it has even the Chelsea Street Pub. All this stuff for Reher Morrison. The Shepherd Racing has all your blue and white markings. You just paint the white and the red, and they got more pictures there of the car. And you also can do their 3rd gen Camaro, which I want to do that too. Beautiful, beautiful decal sheet right there. I believe Slick still has them available. Contact them. If not, I'm sure you can find them on all the trading places on the interwebs. It's pretty obtainable. They made a ton of these decal sheets. So you get that decal sheet, go ahead, find yourself one of those MPC. They're obtainable. They're out there. You might have to pay a little bit. So if you hold off and wait, let's see if anybody can concur down in the comments below that round 2 is coming back out with this kit. Boy, I hope so. I really hope so. And please do it in white, round 2, please. But that's going to be really great that they come back out with this fine second-gen Camaro, late 70s Camaro. But if you do want to go, you can do it. If you want to go with this, which is it's really good looking. If you wanted to go with the 24 scale one, you're going to have to get yourself, I would suggest, a couple of those chassis, because you're going to have to, probably would be best to cut it right there and bring it forward up a little bit, and you could get it to fit this body. But there's a lot of body work that has to be done. You can see where I did a whole lot of heating and bending to get rid of that, and reforming to get rid of that ground effect. And then you got to stretch the wheel wells out, get rid of that spoiler in the back. But it can be done. This thing needs a lot of body work still. But I might get on this one and do that, just because, heck man, that looks really cool and it'd be different. But I think I got something different planned for this. Can anybody say IROC? What? I didn't say that. I might go in that direction with it. Alrighty, friends and family. That's it. I'm going to put a link in the description below, and probably at the end of this video I'm going to have a link to an excellent video that was a little documentary on Reher Morrison Shepherd that was from the YouTube channel Competition Plus. They've got a couple of them. They've got a really good one that is the Reher Morrison team during the Shepherd years, and they have a really good video on the little thing that was going on back in the days when this car was running, their little entanglements with Bob Glidden. It's pretty neat. And that talks about a car I want to do, a version I want to do, that they were running a small block in this back in like 78, 79. It's pretty interesting. Check those 2 videos out. I'll put them at the end. I'll even forego putting a link to my videos, because I think it's really cool if you're interested in doing the Reher Morrison Camaros. Those are some great videos, and there's some great stuff to look at and learn. That's a part of it. I love the research and learning about the actual car and modeling. I like to make them as accurate as possible, but I do that for me. I don't force that on anybody. I don't think anybody's wrong for just getting close enough and it looks like the car. That's cool. Me, I'm very particular. I'm very rivet counting to myself. It's what I enjoy. But by all means, if you're interested, like Mark out there, you're going for this thing, it seems like you want to make it correct, you're very interested in that Camaro, check these videos out, bud. Alright guys, thanks a bunch for watching. This was fun. Do what we do, and what we do is what we do, and we build model cars. Why is that? Because it's frickin' fun. Here's the producers.